Good morning, everybody. My name's Darlene, and I have Parkinson's. Today, the subject is I thought I would update everybody on how I was doing with the patch that I have in reference to my sleep habits, because the patch I was told would possibly help with my sleep habits. Well, my initial thought was to say, no, it hasn't, because as you know, I keep telling you I'm up in the nighttime, or I'm doing this in the night, or doing that in the night. So I would say no, that it hasn't worked. But in actual fact, I was really giving it some thought. And what it has enabled me, yes, I'm up for hours and hours in the nighttime, but what it has enabled me to do is I have usually about one stretch of 4 hours that I can sleep. Now, sometimes that's when I first go in, I maybe sleep for 3 hours and then get up. But if I don't sleep when I first go in and I get up, then I can be up for most of the night. But when I go back in, somewhere in the 6 o'clock in the morning range, when I have taken my morning dose of medicine, then I can usually sleep till 9 or 10. But there's a lot of days that I don't sleep until 9 or 10, that I would then still just get 2 or 3 hours. But then about every fourth night, I will actually go in and sleep for the night. So I would say, yes, it is helping me somewhat. It's not helping me on being consistent about it, and I can't count on going in and going to bed and being able to sleep. But I am able to count on the fact that I'm getting some sleep, and that's helpful to me. I don't even understand why I'm able to do stuff in the middle of the night that I can't do during the day. But I think that it has something to do with the fact that at nighttime I take a long-acting levodopa tablet, which would give me some medicine in my body for a long period of time. So it might have something to do with that, but I'm not exactly sure. So anyway, I would say yes, it is helping, but it's not doing completely. So I'm going to change my routine a little bit. I'm going to start having a wind it down. And instead of looking at my tablet until I'm ready to go to bed, I think that I will just sort of maybe sit here quietly and reflect, or I will possibly read a story or something along that line, just to wind my brain down a little bit, have a cup of chamomile tea or sleepy time tea, and start a new routine, which is just telling myself it's time to go to bed, and see how that does. If it doesn't work, I'll go back to what I'm doing, so that's where it stands for that. And before I tell a little story for today, I do want to say thank you so much to everybody for the birthday wishes. I had so many birthday wishes, and I've really, really been fortunate, and I thank everybody for those wishes. Now, I'm going to tell a story that happened when Bill and I were first married, and we had bought our first home. And the day we were moving in, now we had put every cent that we had to put this down payment on this home. And we had just spent everything that we could. And it had terrible, terrible appliances in this house. So we went to a used appliance shop and we bought a stove for $50. That will tell you how bad this stove was. It was clean, but it was bad. So anyway, we moved in. We had it all hooked up. And that night, Claudine had gone to school during the day and came home. And that night, we tucked her into bed and we were in the kitchen. And I said to Bill, would you like some nachos? And he said, oh, that sounds good. So I put the broiler on, which is a high heat in the oven. Put the broiler on, put my pan of nachos in. And next thing we know, there was smoke billowing out of the oven. And it was like, we have a fire. And we thought that it was the stove on fire. We didn't think it was the nachos on fire. So we looked in, and sure enough, there's flames coming from the thing, the element. And so I picked up the phone to start dialing the fire department. Didn't want to lose my house. And as I was dialing the fire department, I stopped for a second. I said, do you think insurance is going to buy us a new stove? Bill says, phone the fire department. So anyway, I continued on phone the fire department, but we did manage to save the oven. But meantime, Claudine had learned at school that if there's a fire, you should go to your meeting place. Well, we hadn't even established our meeting place yet because we just were moving. But anyway, she was told you stay close to the ground and you get out the front door or the back door, whatever's your exit strategy, and meet at your meeting place. So here we are dealing with this fire, And here comes my daughter crawling on her belly down the stairs, and she goes, "I'll meet you at our meeting place." I said to her, "It's okay, honey. The firemen are coming, but we've got it out." So after that, I said to Bill, "So now do we have to buy the stove now anyway?" And he said, "I think we do." But anyway, that one did work for a little bit longer, and then we were able to save and get the new stove. But we will never forget the fire department welcome to the neighborhood, and Claudine crawling on her belly to get down to the meeting place. Anyway, thank you so much for all the birthday wishes. I hope everybody has a good night. We'll see you all tomorrow.